One of the most recognizable features of Adolf Hitler wasn't just his fiery speeches or military uniform. It was his peculiar little mustache. That tiny strip of hair above his lip has become a symbol of terror. But it wasn't always that way. In fact, Hitler's mustache used to be quite different. In the early 1900s, he sported a large, bushy mustache, much like many other men in Germany. So, why did Hitler decide to chop off most of it and keep the tiny patch we now know him for? What's the story behind one of the strangest facial hair choices in history? Let's dive deep into the mystery behind Hitler's famous mustache. The most widely accepted theory about why Hitler changed his mustache has to do with his time serving in World War I. As a soldier in the 16th Bavarian Infantry Regiment, Hitler fought on the front lines, and one of the biggest dangers soldiers faced at the time wasn't just bullets or bombs. It was poison gas. The British and their allies frequently used mustard gas in their attacks. And to survive these attacks, German soldiers like Hitler had to wear gas masks. But there was a problem for anyone with a big mustache. The masks wouldn't fit properly over their faces. Hitler's large mustache stuck out from beneath his gas mask, leaving gaps where the poison gas could seep in. According to some reports, Hitler was actually ordered by his commanding officer to trim his mustache so that the mask could form a proper seal. Reluctantly, he chopped off the ends of his mustache, leaving just the small center strip. This practical solution to a deadly problem may have been the start of Hitler's toothbrush mustache. But that's not the end of the story. After the war, Hitler didn't keep his mustache that way right away. In fact, in a photo from 1921, 3 years after the war ended, he's back to sporting a fuller, bushier mustache. So why did he eventually return to the smaller version? Another theory suggests that the change in Hitler's mustache had less to do with the war and more to do with the changing times. After World War I, Germany was a nation in chaos. The old symbols of the empire, like Kaiser Wilhelm II's signature long curled mustache, fell out of favor. People were less interested in elaborate grooming and more in simplicity. The thick, dramatic mustache that Hitler had once worn now seemed old-fashioned and out of place in a post-war world. The toothbrush mustache, on the other hand, was modern, clean, and easy to maintain. It didn't require constant trimming or waxing like the more ornate styles of the past. It was a style that represented the everyman, contrasting with the upper-class, aristocratic look of the Kaiser. Some believe that Hitler adopted this style to make himself appear more relatable to the average German citizen, distancing himself from the elites. The fact that this mustache was uncommon at the time also made Hitler stand out. In a world where image matters in politics, having a unique look can help a leader stick in people's minds. This might have been part of Hitler's strategy. By sporting a rare, distinctive mustache, he made himself more recognizable and memorable. Hitler wasn't just a soldier. He was someone deeply concerned with his public image. One story from this time involves Ernst Hanfstaengl, a close friend and supporter of Hitler during his early political career. Hanfstaengl reportedly once asked Hitler why he kept such a strange and, frankly, unattractive mustache. Hitler's response was both confident and telling of his belief in his personal power. "If it's not the fashion now, it will be later because I wear it." Hitler seemed to believe that he could set trends, not follow them. In this case, he may have thought that his mustache, no matter how odd it looked, would eventually become popular simply because he wore it. This shows a lot about his personality. Even in something as simple as facial hair, he saw himself as a leader, someone who could influence the masses. Some people believe that Hitler might have been inspired by Charlie Chaplin, the famous silent movie comedian who also wore a toothbrush mustache. Chaplin was internationally known, and by the time Hitler was rising to power in Germany, Chaplin had already made a name for himself with films like The Kid and The Gold Rush. However, many historians dismiss this theory. Chaplin was known for making people laugh, while Hitler aimed to be a dictator feared by millions. The two couldn't have been more different in terms of their public personas. In fact, Chaplin would later make fun of Hitler's mustache in his film The Great Dictator, mocking the very thing that helped define Hitler's look. There's another twist in the tale of Hitler's mustache. A photo surfaced in 1929 showing a young Adolf Hitler in 1914, right at the start of World War I, and guess what? He's already sporting a toothbrush mustache. But here's the catch. Many historians believe this photo was faked. It only appeared 15 years after it was supposedly taken, just as Hitler's Nazi party was gaining political power. The timing of its release, just before elections, raises suspicion that the photo was doctored to show Hitler as a patriotic figure who had embraced the war effort from the start. If the photo was doctored, it would fit with the Nazi propaganda machine, which often manipulated images and stories to build Hitler's image as a heroic, relatable leader. However, if the photo is real, it would mean Hitler had this mustache style much earlier than we thought. Either way, the photo adds another layer of intrigue to the story of Hitler's ever-changing mustache. Most historians agree that Hitler's mustache evolved over time, starting as a practical adjustment to his gas mask during World War I, then later becoming a part of his political image. It was a symbol of simplicity, modernity, and distinctiveness in a chaotic post-war Germany. And eventually it became an inseparable part of his identity, recognized worldwide. But today, the toothbrush mustache carries an entirely different meaning. It's forever associated with Hitler and the horrors of his regime. While some might laugh at the idea of wearing such a mustache today, the reality is that it would attract unwanted attention. People might stare, laugh, or worse, question your intentions. Even without the historical baggage, the toothbrush mustache isn't exactly a fashionable choice. It's a strange, unbalanced look, and compared to the many other facial hair options available, it's not likely to make a comeback anytime soon. So, there you have it, the story of Hitler's infamous mustache, from its origins on the battlefield to its place in fashion history. Now the big question is, would you ever wear a mustache like that? Let me know in the comments below.